Welcome back to the Love Fix, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Today's subject will be my first time trying dating apps. Strap in, this is going to be a good one. My thoughts and opinions on this video and about dating apps are my own, and it's based on observation, conversations I've had with people, and statistical analysis in many ways. If you like and use dating apps regularly, all power to you. Let me know how you got on and leave a comment below and I will be happy to have a conversation. So why am I doing this experiment? Well, very simple really. One, out of curiosity, and two, for the channel and to help you guys out. I've never been a fan of dating apps, and to quote a very good friend of mine, it's like Amazon shopping for human beings. We're essentially shopping for the perfect person, the perfect date, partner, which bit of it exercise in futility because no one is perfect. However, for the sake of science, quote unquote, and curiosity, I'm taking on this challenge. So I decided to use an app called Hinge. Now, I chose Hinge because I have a few friends that have used it. They said it's really good. They said it's better than the average dating app. So I thought, okay, why not? Word of mouth, that's a great place to start. Firstly, we need to know how dating apps work. The algorithms that operate in the background that push your profile to the front of the queue to get matched up with someone. Now, you may be thinking, oh, Nick, you've only used one app here, but let me tell you, they all use pretty much the same algorithm. For the first 3 days after sign up, your profile is pushed to the front. It does get priority over everybody else. However, after that first 3 days, you are then relegated to the back of the queue unless you sign up or you have a hugely successful profile where it's matching with a lot of people. If after these 3 days you want your profile to be seen more than anybody else, you have to start paying the service fee, i.e. for Hinge, it's like £35 a month, I believe. And you're putting your trust in also in machine learning and artificial intelligence to push your profile to people who are compatible with you based on the data that you have submitted, which could be highly flawed. Computers are great and all. I love computers. I use computers every day. But I don't have a lot of faith in them when it comes to them matching me with someone else. I'm a unique guy. I've got a quirky personality. How is a computer going to understand that based on some very limited data that I put into the app? The algorithm then starts to essentially assess your desirability based on how many people have matched with you. The more matches you get, the algorithm determines your profile is more desirable and then assigns a hidden rating. Based on that rating, basically means how much your profile is pushed to the front of the queue. We're not getting off to a great start here. A computer program is assigning value to a human being based on a couple of pictures and a few answers to a few questions. Anyway, armed with that knowledge, I proceeded to download Hinge and set up my profile, and it's pretty standard. Hinge is a little different in some ways, I guess. It asked you to submit 6 pictures, so I tried to be as authentic as possible. So I submitted some really nice pictures of me, and I submitted some not so nice pictures of me, as in, Instagram perfect or Facebook perfect. No, I kind of sort of like, okay, here's when I look great, here's when I don't look so great, because I wanted to be as organic and as authentic as possible. You then have 3 questions to answer. Okay, you can choose the questions that you choose to answer. Hinge gives you a variety of questions for you to give answers to try to communicate your personality, which for me is impossible. How the hell do you communicate who you are answering 3 damn questions? This is just becoming impossible already. It really is. After I set my profile up, I spent 1 hour a day for 4 days going through profiles. Now, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I am horrendously busy. So I gave as much time as I possibly could. So I gave 1 hour in the morning going through profiles. Now, let's be honest. Men seek physical attraction before we seek emotional attraction. It's just how we're genetically programmed. There's nothing to be ashamed with about that. Okay, that's how we're programmed. Women typically seek emotional attraction, and then the physical attraction is second on their list. But I think it's fair to say, especially on dating apps, that physical attraction is higher up on the list of priorities because that's what you are seeing. Now, don't get me wrong, we shouldn't judge books by their cover. And this is the point of this video, is This is what dating apps force you to do. They force you to judge a book by its cover. It takes time to get to know someone. I'm just pointing out the genetic differences between men and women. In this case, men do seek physical attraction before the emotional attraction comes. And just before I go any further, there is a section where you list your non-negotiables, basically. So stuff that you don't want in a partner. And for me, these include no smokers, no heavy drinkers, no drug users. That's just me. I can't date smokers because I just think it's a bad habit. It doesn't smell nice, and I don't want a potential partner to be putting themselves at unnecessary risk. That's just me. Everyone's different. You can agree and disagree with that. That's absolutely fine. But it is important to point this out, that non-negotiables here are an important part of the process. So my process of elimination was this. I would look at the profile. Now, if there's someone I just wasn't physically attracted to in any way, shape or form, I would pass on that profile. So I've established that looks do play a big part here. It's not the most important part, but it does play a part here. I would then look at the answers to their questions, and see if it clicked with my personality. And then I would look at my non-negotiables, i.e. are they a smoker, because you do have to list that. And if it met that above criteria, I would give that person a like. Now, what Hinge allows you to do, rather than just liking their picture, you can like the answer to their questions. And this is what I try to do. I try to actually strike up conversations. Now, here are some of the numbers. I estimate that I got through nearly 500 profiles. Out of those 500, I liked 30 of those profiles. Out of those 30, I reached out to 10 of them. Out of those 10, 3 of them invited me to chat. So once you reach out, you leave a like or a comment on their particular answer to a particular question. Okay, what's your favorite Disney film, for example? And, they say Aladdin. And I say, yeah, that's a really great film. What other films do you like? And then they invite you to chat. I carried on the conversation with 3 other women. So out of all of those numbers, 3 got back to me. Well, invited me to chat. After I tried to organically move that conversation forward by talking about that particular thing, none of them replied. But that doesn't surprise me. We are forced to triage the profiles, the hundreds, thousands of profiles on there. You literally spend 30 seconds looking at their pictures, looking at the answers to their questions, and looking to see if they smoke, drink, or whatever. And then you are assigning value to a human being that you've never met before. How the hell are you meant to know what that human being is about with a 30-second look at somebody's profile? This is just impossible. It's surface level questions as well. I just found it unbearable, because I even found myself, if there was something that I didn't like about that person, and maybe I didn't like the colour of their hair, for example, like it's a 1% thing, and if I really liked a woman, that really wouldn't bother me in the real world. But I'm now finding myself, I'm passing on this lovely human being, and no doubt these are lovely people in there, just because I don't like the colour of their hair. I've got no opportunity to get to speak to them, to get to know them, to get to understand them. And my internal, my internal algorithm is now assigning value to somebody I've never met. And then I pass them into cybernetic oblivion, never to be seen again. Now, I'm an average looking guy. I know that. I've got a good personality. I am fun. Anyone told you that I've got a wicked sense of humour? In fact, my sense of humour is quite dark and dirty. I'm well educated. I'm financially reasonably secure. However, how is any woman going to get to know the depths of my personality, the intricacies, the little quirks, by looking at a couple of pictures and my answers to a couple of questions? It's utter bullshit. We also have to ask ourselves, will I find a secure person on a dating app? A person that has their shit together and that's got a fulfilling life? The answer to that is it's quite unlikely, because what I'm looking for in a woman, I want her to be independent. I want her to let a guy into her life, me, i.e., to enhance it, not to complete it. She is not letting me into her life because she needs me. She wants me to be there. It's not a need. Someone who can laugh at my dirty jokes, someone who can talk and debate about science, philosophy, and geek stuff, and doesn't get butthurt if I disagree with her. We can have a discussion and learn from each other. I don't know if that exists on dating apps. I just don't know. Because I'm of the opinion, now I'm someone that doesn't have time to be on dating apps. I just don't. Because I've got a lot going on. I have many things to be getting on with. So I'm thinking to myself, will there be such a woman on a dating app, someone that has their shit together to the point where they don't need to outsource dating to an app? I just don't know if that is possible. I could be wrong here. So moving on from that, it's now estimated that 50% of all new couples will meet online by 2030. We are digitizing natural behaviors and turning it into something that can be sold, and it's fucking cancerous. And I'll say that again, it's fucking cancerous. I do not like where things are going. And look, I get it. I get how loneliness and desperation can alter our thought process and send us down different paths. I spend a good amount of time by myself just because I generally like spending time by myself. I'm a bit introverted, so I find social interactions quite draining. Don't get me wrong, I like to socialize, but I need to take a rest from it every now and then. But even someone like me, yeah, I feel lonely every now and then. It does happen. I get it. And we just want a hug. We just want someone to be there to say it's going to be okay. So we navigate our way through the gauntlet that is dating apps. We sign up, we put our profile on there, we try to put our best pictures and our best foot forward. We get through the swiping phase and matching phase. We reach out to someone. So we've got through 3 barriers there. And then they invite you to chat. They don't reply. You're still not good enough. That's what it felt like. Now, I've got my shit together. I'm a reasonably secure person. I'm not attached emotionally to a dating app at all. After this video, I'm deleting the app and I'll go on about my life. But there are people out there that are putting themselves in a position of vulnerability. They go through all of that bullshit just to not get a response. What the fuck do you think that's going to do to someone's loneliness then and their self-esteem? So for me, dating apps is now highlighting a bigger question that we need to answer. We have to ask ourselves, is instant gratification stripping away our humanity? The pandemic has very effectively exposed a void in many of us, and that is we've forgotten how to love ourselves. So we're now outsourcing it to two-dimensional people on an app that in turn are outsourcing their lack of self-love back to you. That, my friends, is a one-way ticket to toxic, codependent, unhealthy relationships. And that is not what this channel is about. For me, dating apps are keeping you single. They are keeping you single by creating even more distance between us. There is this galactic void between people now. We have forgotten how to socialize. We have forgotten how to be human beings towards each other. Instead, we are putting a persona on, a fake image, an avatar on this app, this algorithm that determines your worth, your value as a human being. I've got 2 words to that. Fuck off. So my conclusion for this, can dating apps serve a purpose? Yeah, sure, they can. I think they have a place, but I don't think we want to be in a place where it's replacing normal human interaction, normal dating behaviors. I know one person personally who has had success with dating apps, and she is getting married this year, I believe, and I'm over the moon for her, and she's a great friend of mine, and I'm really, really happy for her. However, for most of us, it doesn't go beyond the surface level. My observation is that it's mostly wounded people on these apps. They are outsourcing their pain, lack of self-love and self-worth to others to repair for them. My friends, what you don't repair will follow you into the next relationship and the next relationship and the next relationship. We have to do the self-work and the self-love. I said in a previous video, it's called Stop Seeking Those Who Reject You. I will leave a link for it, or I will put a badge on the video here. 90% of the people you meet will reject you romantically, just as you yourself will reject 90% of the people you meet. Why should dating apps be any different? That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Any questions or comments, please leave below. And as always, I'll see you on the other side.